Good morning. My name is John Maiden. It is November 30th, 2022. I am recording this video from Saratoga Springs as I attempt to address the gross judicial misconduct and abuse of power and violation of my civil rights and my daughter's civil rights by the various people and departments within Clinton County government. I've talked about this on multiple occasions and I have gotten nowhere, despite winning my appeal with the 3rd Judicial District, which only served to reverse this matter back to the same prick, Timothy Lawliss, who initiated this shit and is responsible for the destruction of my family, including the alienation of me from my children and separating me from them by creating legal jeopardy for me over the years so that I could not attempt to get custody or participate in my daughter's lives. Lawliss has acted again and again since 2012 against me, a 100% service-connected disabled veteran of the United States Air Force, denying me my basic parental rights, which is apparently a very high bar that this guy does not even respect at all. Beginning in 2012, Lawliss has taken numerous illegal actions against me and against the interests of my children, with some fucked up goal of preventing me from participating in my children's lives. While at the same time that I've talked again and again about the various crimes that were committed back then, and that Timothy Lawliss failed in his capacity as a judge to protect the rights of my children, to protect the rights of Kristen Dupree, now Kristen Carnahan, who is a horrible addict and is at risk of overdose. I've been involved in the last couple months of trying to see where my children are and trying to prevent them from being taken out of state, and I've gotten nowhere. With the full blessing of one of the primary assholes is Cheryl Maxwell. This temporary custody order that she wrote discriminates against me, discriminates against my children, and it's just reprehensible as to the actions that have been taken. I don't get telephone contact with my children even at this late date. I was never given the ability to communicate with my children. All they've tried to do is jack me up for years and use my issues with child support and my health and my disability status against me, which is absolutely appalling. In Clinton County, it's not thank you for your service as a veteran, it's fuck you for your service as a veteran. Let's get that clear. Timothy Lawliss does this as a matter of business as usual. And the corrupt cabal of pricks that he has surrounded himself with, including Cheryl Maxwell and people like Alan Cruikshank and Keith Bruno, who was an attorney, sucking Lawless's dick, years ago, and then rose to the level of judge to continue this prick's, destruction of my family and of me. Now, let's not forget, when I was diagnosed with cancer back in June of 2021, I immediately went to the court. While I had, all of these things pending against them, and they still would not allow me to have any visitation with my children or communicate with my children back then. They told me I didn't meet some causative standard or something to cause a change in circumstance that would allow me to even talk to my kids on the phone. So that's, where I am today. I'm not expressing this very well. I am certainly overwhelmed by everything, and I can't get anyone to help me. I came down here to Saratoga Springs and to Albany and to Glens Falls to try to see what I could come up with and what my next step should be. And I don't know what to do. I am completely overwhelmed by all of this. I'm going to continue in court. I'm going to go back up, to Plattsburgh when I'm finished down here because I really haven't gotten anywhere. I know December 9th is the next court proceeding, so if Kristen doesn't show up to that thing, which I don't think she will, I believe Lawliss is going to try to proceed anyway, and I absolutely have to stop that from happening at that point. So I've got a lot of work to do when I get back to Plattsburgh. Um, but I still, I mean, I'm in over my head with this. I mean, I annexed. I can't even get into this anymore. I'm at a loss to describe and to discuss what has gone on, and that's what they've counted on. By stretching this out over so much time, you lose the thread of the evidence and of all of the gross misconduct and all of the shit that's gone on since then. So I'm really at a deficit here. And all Lawless is trying to do, which he says again and again, he wants to force me to go, spend tens of thousands of dollars on an attorney so that I can walk into court and listen to this motherfucker dismiss the thing for no reason whatsoever. And that's what he's done in the past when I had an attorney, and that's why I'm not willing to go get an attorney again. I mean, I'll stand up in court, and my mindset now is not winning custody of my children because I don't think that's going to happen. My mindset now is to identify this gross abuse of power and judicial misconduct and misconduct by the various officers of the court, including the attorney for the children, Cheryl Maxwell, which is a real piece of shit, who is a real piece of shit that should be removed and sanctioned. But you can't get at these people. There's no way to get at a judge. There's no way to get at an attorney. They cover their asses so well, and they have committees on top of committees where you've got to submit things, and then you've got to. They don't do anything. They don't do anything. Even for someone like me, even for a disabled veteran, they are not willing to step up and follow the law. What they've done here is, I think, criminal. Lawless, who's when you look at a judge. Look, I'm fucking this up. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I'm not giving up. I'm really discouraged. I've spent the better part of the last 10 years, trying just to participate in my children's lives and warning this court about the potential for domestic violence and drug abuse and what you have when you have two parents, the step parent, Ricky Carnahan, and Kristen, who are horrible addicts. But they were allowed to walk into court. Now, this is what's really fucked up. No, one thing that's really fucked up. When Ricky and Kristen came to court, was it like on September 8th or something? That was the last time I saw them in court. And they were high as a kite. Kristen was all fucked up. Ricky was all fucked up. And you know what they sat there and did in court that day? They asked Ricky and Kristen who they want to give custody to. Now, these are two heroin addicts, two people with charges pending against them for all different kinds of shit, family offense petitions pending at the time, which they wouldn't allow me to be a part of. But yet Bruno sat there and asked them who do they want to give custody to. So they said they want to give custody to Ricky's mother, Lynn Ormsby, who's a piece of shit from Alabama, married 6 times, silver spoon up her ass. I don't know what her deal is. But if Ricky Carnahan represents her best effort at parenting, we need to run the other fucking way. Because this bitch doesn't, represent anything good or right for my children. It's some selfish money grab thing. Remember, she has no biological ties to my children. She's a third party, for fuck's sake. This is exhausting. There are so many levels of corruption and just obvious, dereliction by these people of their duties and sworn oaths as officers of the court and judges and every other fucking thing. But they don't care. Look, man, I'm talking for 9 minutes and I haven't said a fucking thing because I don't know what to do. These people have fucked me over again and again, and I'm up against it. I don't even know what to do anymore. They've turned my children against me. My daughters have been brainwashed by Kristen and Ricky Carnahan and Kathy Dupree and Katie Rock at the time. And these are all people who told me that they didn't have the information that they needed to make good decisions. But yet Kathy Dupree is the one who fucked up my visits. She came out there to Family Connections and stopped me from building a relationship with my children. And now here I am talking to her. I told Kathy I'm willing to forgive and move forward. I told Katie I'm willing to forgive the past and move forward. But once again, doesn't seem like that's going to happen. On Columbus Day weekend, my children were taken out of state to Alabama And now Lynn Ormsby is, submitting petitions from Alabama to say, whatever the fuck she thinks she's trying to say, because the court and she are complicit in all of this and have allowed my children to be removed from New York State against the UCCJEA, against several other federal laws. But you know what? I can't do anything about it because Cheryl Maxwell wrote a temporary custody order that is not enforceable in New York State. There's nothing in there that says where my daughters live, who they live with, even what state they're in. It's like a blank check. Here, Lynn, here's the custody of 4 girls. We don't care what you do with them. And, let us know how it goes, or don't let us know how it goes. But, yeah, Lawliss is now back in place. So, I got rid of this motherfucker back in 2018 going into 2019 because he kept, without ever doing any investigation into any of this, Lawliss just sought to destroy me from the very beginning. He has taken so many illegal actions against me and my children that I've documented all of it. It's in 2 annexed petitions. My appeal that I submitted is a 300-page document. The 180-page petition that I submitted in 2014 that Lawliss blocked and created legal jeopardy for me so that I couldn't return to New York State without jeopardizing my freedom. That's when he really alienated me from my children. And then when I came here, Lawliss threw me in jail. Lawliss took numerous actions against me when I questioned the child support order and its legality. And he kept bringing me into integrated domestic violence court so that he could increase the level of punishment and threaten me with incarceration all the time. Remember, when I submitted for therapeutic visitation from 2018 into 2019, Lawliss told me that my paperwork was incorrect. He didn't offer any accommodation to help a disabled veteran to see his children. He didn't do anything except, basically tell me, fuck you. And that's where we are. I submitted a petition for therapeutic visitation requesting that Valerie Ainsworth be our therapist. I used the template that was given to me by Tom Pickering. And it's a little bit hard to read, I agree, because when you're a pro se litigant, everything has to be expressed in the passive voice, but you have to talk about, it's really confusing, and that's intentionally so that I can't get anywhere in this process. Now, I've had attorneys give me my money back because they don't want to be involved. $25,000 to people like Joanne Coughtry and the Donnellan Law Firm and these other assholes who want to charge me $50,000 to be brought up to speed and then appear with me in court, maybe 1 or 2 times. And that's how they do business. So I've gotten nowhere. It's very disappointing for my children. You can see it in the pictures. You can see it in Victoria's face. You can see it in Elizabeth and Aurelia's face. They don't know what to do. They know they've been brainwashed and removed from, what was their family up here in New York State. After being removed from me, my daughters have been traumatized basically their whole lives. And I've been fighting for them and trying to do things to help them. But it's of no use when you're against a corrupt motherfucker like Timothy Lawliss and corrupt pieces of shit like Cheryl Maxwell and Alan Cruikshank and the people in the New York State Police who do the bidding of Timothy Lawliss on a regular basis. So I am obviously going to follow through, I should say. But, my lease is up in the end of December. Right now, I don't have a place to live after that. I mean, I could stick around there and, get an eviction notice and everything, which is probably what's going to happen because I go to court December 9th. If Kristen doesn't show up, I don't know what to do. I mean, they're going to issue, I don't know what they're going to do. But I don't think they're going to let Kristen take the stand and me ask her questions. I also don't think they're going to let Lynn Ormsby take the stand. Lawliss doesn't do things that way. Lawliss is the wizard, the man behind the curtain. He's the motherfucker who stands there, making all kinds of noise and threats and lights and smoke and fucks people over. That's what he does. Lawliss is responsible for destroying so many people's lives and wrecking so many families over the years that it's just beyond the pale to discuss at this point. But my book, which Putnam and oh, I forget the name of the other publisher. They're not giving me much of a chance here to get my book published. But my God, the damage they've done to me and my children is just appalling, and nobody seems to care. How do I get the message out there? My own brothers don't care. My mom's gone. My dad's gone. I'm 400 and some miles away. Maybe it's just time to cut my losses and go live my life someplace else and forget about these kids who I don't even know anymore and who certainly don't want to know me, and wait to see what happens. If they come back around, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But God, I'm 60 years old now and coming up on 1 year cancer free. So this is not how I want to spend my life, you know, doing battle with fucking Timothy Lawliss and Alan Cruikshank. And I mean, it's so ridiculous. These people know what they've done. They know how to correct it, and they won't do it. There is this best interest of the children thing is complete bullshit because they don't follow the law. The only thing they do is impose their own bias and prejudice and then discriminate against me and my children for some fucked up reason that apparently was agreed to back in 2012. Anyway, I gotta go. I've been talking for 16 minutes. I haven't said a fucking thing, but keep moving forward.